Happy Thursday, North Texas. I'm Scott, and today is Thursday, April 23rd, and your ears do not deceive you. We're coming out a day early this week because we've got a very special episode on tap. UNT Day of Giving is just around the corner, coming up this Monday, April 27th, so we thought we'd put this out a little bit early to celebrate. We've got a jam-packed episode with 4 great interviews to inspire you to support UNT. With that many people to talk to, we're taking a little break from community news and the Mean Green Minute this week, but don't worry, they'll be back next week. Until then, let's get ready to give. First up, we've got Assistant Director of Digital Philanthropy and Annual Giving, Daquan Allen. You may remember Daquan from last year's Day of Giving episode, and he's back to give us a quick rundown of everything you need to know about this year's event.
So UNT Day of Giving is really just a time for the university to showcase the impact of philanthropy, and then also provide the opportunity for the UNT community to give anywhere on campus that their, hearts kind of desire. I hear some people ask, like, is the money just going to athletics or is it just going to college and music? I just want to be clear in that you can give, to scholarships, programmatic support across the board. So really is just a time to showcase the impact of philanthropy and then, kind of uphold that culture of philanthropy as a university.
Great. And then a big kind of, I don't want to use the word gimmick, but a big thing with Giving Day is the challenges that are unlocked. Are there any other challenges you want to spotlight or shout out or anything?
Yeah, we have a couple of big challenges this year. We have the Mosley Family Challenge, where he's matching $25,000 to a couple of different funds in athletics. College and Music is doing 100 donors unlocks $100,000 to their college. We have a few challenges where it's kind of unique. We have the Career Center Road to $10,000, where a generous donor has agreed to match gifts up to $10,000. Emergency Management is trying to get at least 10 donors, and a generous donor has agreed to give $1,000 when they get 10 donors to their fund. The Vice Provost of the libraries is committing $1,000 when 50 people give $10. So really, opportunity to show love and support across campus, and then also to places that affect student success. I would encourage people to navigate to our Day of Giving website, and, there's a challenge page where you can see all of the challenges we have there.
Great. And then you mentioned the URL there. What's the URL people can go to? We'll make sure to include it in the show notes too.
They can go to givingday.unt.edu to learn more and see everything about the campaign.
Great. And then Giving Day, people can give all throughout the month of April to count towards Giving Day, but when is actual Giving Day?
The actual Day of Giving is taking place on April 27th and 28th. So it's kind of funny. It's called Day of Giving, but it's more of a day in like the essence of 24 hours. So we run from noon on the 27th to noon on the 28th.
Okay. And then, so noon on 28th, if anybody's like really locked in and really committed to like meeting one of those challenges, noon on the 28th is the deadline to meet the challenges, right? Obviously they can still donate after that, but
all the challenges will end on the 28th.
Okay. All right. Well, Daquan, thank you so much again for joining us this year to tell us about Giving Day, and we'll include a link in the show notes for people to give.
Okay, thank you.
Big thanks again to Daquan for all that great info. Remember, y'all, that's givingday.unt.edu, or check the link in the show notes to learn more and donate today. Daquan mentioned some of those challenges you'll be able to support and unlock, and our next guest is taking part in a very special Day of Giving challenge. Kathy Nelson Hartman is a 2-time UNT alumna, Associate Dean of Libraries Emeritus, and founder of the Portal to Texas History. She's hoping to raise $100,000 for the Historic Newspaper Preservation Fund through a challenge that gives a whole new meaning to the phrase, put some skin in the game. Tell me a little bit about the challenge that you're participating in for Day of Giving this year.
Well, actually, I'm part of a couple of different challenges. One is for the UNT Libraries, which is obviously probably my chief supporting area, since I really started a major endowment for the Portal to Texas History there. And the challenge part of that is that I will get a Portal, Texas history tattoo will be my very first tattoo. I've not ever had a tattoo. And if enough people will donate to raise $100,000 for the historical newspaper program. We are putting tons of historical newspapers online. There, I don't know, somewhere between 12 and 15 million pages of Texas historical newspapers online in the Portal to Texas History that are heavily used by all kinds of researchers right now. So that's where the focus would be for the funding coming in for this challenge. And then I guess the second challenge is part of the advisory council of the Osher Lifelong Learning Program, the OLLI program at UNT. And I actually contributed funds for that advisory council group that's challenging the rest of our members to give as well. So we're hoping to raise $20,000 through that challenge this year.
Very nice. And I'm curious, for the Portal to Texas History $100,000 tattoo challenge, can you tell me how this came about and what made you want to do this?
You know, they called me up and said, you know, what would you get a tattoo if we could raise this money? And I said, if you can raise $100,000, absolutely I will.
It's an expensive tattoo. Tell me a little bit about your motivation, though. Obviously, founder of the Portal, but why it's important to you to participate and try to raise funds for the Portal?
Well, the Portal to Texas History helped us build a whole infrastructure for digital library through the funding that we got through the years, mainly built with external funding. You have to remember that. So we were always interested in fundraising to support this whole idea. And the basis of it is to pull together content from organizations across the state. So it's libraries, it's museums, it's archives, it's individuals who have collections that are incredibly valuable. And we pull all that content together and we make it available to all users. There's no fee-based to it. So we wanted it to be free and open access for all users. We wanted, obviously, our students and our faculty, researchers, historians to have access to this kind of content. But then, there was no reason why we couldn't make it available to the world. And it is used by people around the world. So, we want to keep it that way. We want to keep adding content and making it more and more valuable. There's always more amazing content that we can add. I can give you some examples of things that were recently added, that they're just incredible content.
Yeah, that's great. And then just diving into the challenge a little bit more, have you decided, would the tattoo just be the actual logo for the Portal to Texas History?
That's what I'm thinking, is because I really like that logo. I think it's very attractive, and put it on my upper arm or someplace like that. I think it would be fun to have a tattoo for the Portal to Texas History.
Very nice. Yeah, I was getting to the next question is where would you get it? And then you mentioned this would be your first tattoo. You would be getting your first tattoo at the age of
80 years old.
Wow.
I'm still just a kid at heart, so what can I say?
Love it. Last question. Have you mentioned to any friends or family that you're participating in this challenge, and what do they think of it? Did they jump on the chance to contribute and try to make this happen?
Well, I have a lot of friends, I think, that find it quite amusing. And every place that I go that they've read about it, if they've used the Portal, it's right there on the front page of the Portal. I'm getting a lot of people laughing along with me. They think it's a very fun thing to do. So hopefully they will contribute. I'm not out twisting arms, but I'm hoping that they will.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's great, Kathy. Well, here's hoping we get to that $100,000 goal, and if we do, we'll definitely be in touch to hear more about it.
Okay. Okay, you'll need a photo of it, I'm sure.
For sure. All right. Thank you, Kathy. We appreciate your time.
You're quite welcome.
Look, guys, I know times are tough. I get it. But how often do you get the chance to play a part in an 80-year-old retired librarian getting her first tattoo? I'm guessing probably never. As if supporting UNT wasn't enough motivation, that has to put you over the top, right? Remember, that's givingday.unt.edu or check the link in the show notes. Scroll down to the challenges and select the Historic Newspaper Preservation Fund Road to $100,000 to donate and help Kathy get her first tattoo. But if you're not into octogenarian tattoo challenges for some weird reason, Day of Giving is also a great way to support student success. I spoke to construction engineering senior and Mean Green Racing project manager Solomon Abu Solomon about how Day of Giving gifts helped the team fund their first fully electric race car. Solomon, can you tell me about how Mean Green Racing has been involved with or benefited from Day of Giving?
Yeah, so David, we've always been involved in Day of Giving, right, since the start of it. And then we've been able to collect a lot of funding. So last year, our car was a 2-year build, so 2 Day of Givings actually contributed to the car. And all the money that came in through Day of Giving accounted for approximately 50-ish% of the car, budget-wise. And we're talking about, 5 figures. It's a lot of money.
Yeah. As a student, what does that mean to you and your kind of teammates on Mean Green Racing to get that kind of support, especially for something that's you guys are so passionate about?
It's great. A lot of the team members spend a lot of time on campus building the car. I personally had to spend 38 hours continuous building on the car. Maybe you don't want to say that. Put that in the cut, but. And when they're spending all this time and all the energy, it's like having a second job, right? It's like having a second internship. A lot of us have jobs and then have school. And then when you're involved in engineering leadership for the team and you're actually responsible for stuff, you're spending a lot of time. And then all to come to me and be like, hey, can we buy this? I'm like, no, we don't have money for this. A lot of times it's like, hey, we don't have money for this right now. Let's wait for Day of Giving. Let's see how we do. And if we do good, then we'll be able to purchase this. Or no, it's going to have to wait for another year, or we're going to have to find a value engineered option. Basically, how engineers say, find a cheaper option.
And then when y'all receive that kind of support, like how does it kind of like plant a seed of you like, oh man, I hope I can contribute to students someday when I'm in my job and
yeah, definitely
pay that forward a little bit.
A lot of our alumni are the people who donate during Day of Giving. We've had one alumni to donate a substantial amount of money during multiple Day of Givings and just support of buying us parts. Some alumni, they don't straight up spend the money on us, but that doesn't mean they don't support us. Some of them are here with us when we're pulling the all-nighter, we're trying to figure something out. And they're like, hey, you know what? I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to come up to Discovery Park and help y'all out. Nice. So it's really great to see that and show the freshmen on the team, like, hey, like you're not just here for a student organization. This is going to carry on for a long time. You're going to get a job from that. That's what I'm doing later today is we're having company come in and interview a bunch of our leadership. Nice. So that's a really good, like, hey, there's multiple ways to pay it back to the team. And especially because you get so much experience building a car, building this full engineering project from concept to reality, and you go through all the challenges that are engineering. Basically, you're going for school for 4 years to learn how to solve all these challenges. Now you get to actually put it in practice and go to your professor like, hey, I did this. So
then is there, if people want to learn more about Mean Green Racing or support Mean Green Racing, whether it's through Day of Giving this year or any other way, what's a good way for people to get involved?
Always reach out to us. We have our Gmail. It's saeunt@gmail.com. That's a shared email with all the engineering leads. So any one of them can see the inbox and respond. And then also, if you go to our website, which is meangreenracing.unt.edu, you can find current year's leadership, our advisor, our one of our supporters is UNT Advancement, Angus McCollin. You can reach out to him, especially if you're a corporate sponsor and wanting to reach out to the team. But always just shoot us an email, shoot us a DM on Instagram. It's Mean Green Racing. It's pretty easy. Everything is just mean green racing. We try to keep it that way. Yeah.
Well, Solomon, thank you again for coming out and talking to us, and congratulations on your graduation coming up.
Yeah, thank you.
Try to enter interviews. Can we get Go Mean Green?
Go mean green.
Really appreciate Solomon making the time to talk to us about Day of Giving, especially as he's racing toward graduation here in just a few weeks. Get it? Get it? Because of Mean Green Racing, you see? Racing. What I love so much about that story is that it shows the impacts your gift can have on student success even beyond the classroom, and it's a great example of how you can give to causes you're passionate about. Sure, you can make a general donation, and those are always greatly appreciated, but you can also think about a program or student org that really made a difference to you and support it directly with your gift. That's something our next guest talks about too, and I can't believe he made the time to talk to us. But it just goes to show how important Day of Giving is to UNT Athletic Director Jared Mosley. He talked to me about the Mosley Family Challenge, where his family will match up to $25,000 in donations to UNT Athletics funds that support student success. All right, Jared. So thank you so much for taking the time to join us for the podcast today. I know you're a busy man, so I appreciate you.
Oh, appreciate it. Always enjoy the opportunity, and certainly busy and exciting time around here.
Yeah. So we're here to talk about Day of Giving. Let's just start out. Tell me about the Mosley Family Challenge for Day of Giving this year.
Yeah, we're excited, Trish and I, to be able to be a part of Day of Giving in a unique way. We've always been able to support whatever institution we're at. It's been important to us to invest back in to the student athlete experience. I think for me personally, one of the things that I really just always reflect back on was the impact that college athletics had on my own journey in my own life. And so the opportunity for us to pour in and continue to enhance that here at University of North Texas and set our student athletes up for success means a lot to both Trish and I.
Yeah, that's great. And then looking at the Day of Giving website, I see there's the Family Challenge for the Mean Green Scholarship Fund with a $10,000 match. And then the Green Lights Fund for a $15,000 match. The scholarship fund seems a little more kind of direct, but what does the Green Lights Fund go towards for people who are considering which one they want to donate to?
Yeah, so the scholarship fund is our our major scholarship account that our donors invest in, allows us to continue to provide those scholarships to the young men and women in our program. The Green Lights Fund is a relatively new fund. It's what we established to help us support the revenue share and NIL opportunities for our student athletes. And so we do have a number of our donors and fan base who want to support their team. So they can pick any of our sports, choose to support, and those funds then are utilized by our coaching staff in the recruiting process to continue to attract talent to the University of North Texas. So really, both of these funds are critical to our future success, and excited to hopefully get plenty of matches once we get to the Day of Giving.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, folks working over there in athletics, I assume, enjoy a little bit of competition. How much do the challenges and that kind of leaderboard aspect of Day of Giving tie into getting everybody motivated?
You know what? It's fun. It's one thing that you really can't take out of the DNA of coaches and student athletes is competition. So we always enjoy on Day of Giving the opportunity to let our teams compete. And so, we set up these different kind of rewards throughout the day to teams that have the largest number of donors, but also who bring in the largest amounts. And so we really want to, and in years past have had a ton of success just around everybody kind of rallying for their sport and their program and encouraging people to be a part. I think one of the things we talk about a lot here at University of North Texas Athletics, and particularly looking at, where can we take just the tremendous momentum we have, really our next step is, can we get the volume of people who have associations, affiliations, connections to UNT to connect in some way, give back to something that's meaningful and important to them. And so super proud of our development staff and those who have been able to help us continue to raise that bar. And hopefully this year we can hit a new milestone and get more people involved throughout this day of giving.
Yeah. And then talking about those leaderboards, I was informed that last year swimming and diving led the leaderboards for donors, power hour, and for dollars raised. Obviously, that's a lot of bragging rights. But can you talk about how those donations support each individual team and kind of the impact those donations can have?
No, it's important. I mean, the one thing that I would say we pride ourselves on here at UNT is being able to support all of our programs and give them opportunities to compete at the highest levels in the American Conference. And, those funds that do come through, those are earmarked and restricted to the programs in which those funds come in for. So it's a great opportunity for us to tap into our entire fan base and donor base. I mean, I think, most people, just because of the linear broadcasts and the way TV works, football and basketball are usually top of mind for a lot of folks, but each of our 16 sports have families and fans and people who have a vested interest. And so, these challenges to be able to, again, spark that competition and get our student athletes involved with people who they know that they're connected with, provides a nice touch on a day where you're trying to raise as much support as you can for these young men and women and their experience here.
Yeah. All right. And then last question, this podcast, it's going out the Friday before Day of Giving. So just a few days left if people are listening to this on Friday over the weekend. So what's your last message, your last plea to Mean Green fans to get involved with Day of Giving this year?
I mean, I think the thing that I would just say is over the last year, you look at what we were able to experience in just some remarkable milestones this last year, to have a 12-win football season, to get over the hump and win the New Mexico Bowl, to have a first ever sellout of DACU Stadium, so many things that we've done at a high level, and just the interest level. I mean, I was reflecting back on that South Florida game and the first sellout, the number of people who came to that game who had not been back on campus or had not been to a game in several years or even decades, for them to get the feedback from them and just the pride they had in UNT, the excitement they had around the success we were having. There's no reason that can't be every year. And every time that we open up the gates of DACU, to be able to get as many people here enjoying the opportunity to connect with each other, their programs, their departments, and this institution, it's just a great opportunity. So hopefully we can keep the momentum going. And I just encourage people always, a lot of our donors will say, well, where's your biggest priority, or what's the biggest need you have that we can contribute to? And I say, always find the need that resonates with you the most. What are you most passionate about? Where do you want to see your dollars have impact? And give to those things. And then we can figure out the rest from there. So just want to encourage everybody to give on Day of Giving, and let's light the tower green.
Huge thanks again to Jared for joining us to talk about Day of Giving. Remember, head to givingday.unt.edu to support the Mosley Family Challenges to raise those matching donations to the Mean Green Scholarship Fund and the Green Lights Fund, or to support any other challenge, program, or area of the university that's important to you. And don't forget to help us grow by telling a friend about the show, sharing it on social media, or leaving us a 5-star rating and review wherever you listen. You can also let us know what you think about the show by emailing podcast@unt.edu or calling 940-565-4341. And until next time, we hope you have a happy Thursday and a happy Friday, North Texas, and go Mean Green. Friday, North Texas is a production of the University of North Texas. Today's show was produced and edited by Scott Brown with original reporting by Scott Brown. For more information, visit unt.edu/podcast.